Hi, I'm Rob.
And I'm Rob.
And this is Ask Rob and Rob.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Ask Rob and Rob, the show where you get your questions in and we give you our best efforts at an answer. And that format's been running for a lot of episodes now. And it's a popular one. So let's continue that roadshow and remind you how you can get involved and get your very own question answered.
Yep, oh so simple. Give us a call on 013 808 00035 or go to propertyhub.net/ask. Just come up with your question, send it over, and you'll soon have your answer.
Hi, Rob and Rob. My name is Sam and I'm calling from London. I have a question about getting a mortgage and I would like your opinion on how long to fix for, given the current situation with inflation. Is it best to fix for as long as possible, given inflation only seems to be getting higher and higher? Or would remortgaging again in 2 years be a better idea if the current environment has calmed? Thanks for your help. Bye.
Hey Sam, thank you for your question. And so many people are asking this right now. What should I do about mortgages, whether you're refinancing or taking a mortgage out for the first time? So let's help you and hopefully lots of other people. So the first thing to say is it's hard to give you an exact answer because it's going to depend on your situation. However, I want to help. So let's just take a general situation, which is you wanting to get a mortgage today and you don't care about the rest, and you want to get the best deal possible. Well, if that's the case, then I can tell you what I would do. Because I want to be careful here. What I would do is based on the information that I have. I don't have a crystal ball, and I might be wrong. But if it gives you comfort by knowing what someone else is doing, then I'm willing to share my thoughts. Because I am going through this process at the moment with refinancing and also looking to make investments. And the answer is, I would go for a 2-year fix rather than, say, a 5-year fix. Let me explain why. The reason I would do that is the margins are really high right now. The amount that the lenders borrow at and the amount they put in as a margin, their profit, on top of that amount is really high. And it's the highest it's been in years. So they're making really big margins right now. And for me, I think there's 2 key reasons why they're doing that. 1, there's the market uncertainty and what the future holds. But 2, and I actually think this is the main reason, is they can get away with it because of that uncertainty. So they're making a lot of money. Now, up until recently, the margins, the long-term trend was they were coming down and we were getting better and better products. I think in a couple of years' time, this would have all sorted itself out and the margins will come back down again. Now, interest rates might be higher in a couple of years, but I think even with interest rates being higher, I think the margins will be lower, and therefore, I don't think I'll be any worse off in a couple of years when I refinance, and might be a bit better off. So, that's what I would do, and you understand why I'm doing that. And based on that information, Sam, and everyone else, you can now decide on what you want to do. But if you are one of those people who just want to sleep at night, or you don't like admin, then go for a 5-year. A 5-year might be a better option. But if you're willing to take a little bit of a risk and you're not going to lose sleep at night, then go for the 2-year like I am. But the decision is ultimately yours, and you can't come and find me if I'm wrong.
Great answer, Rob. Let's move on to our next question. This one is from Tom.
Hi, Rob and Rob. Thanks so much for continuing to produce some really insightful podcasts that I listen to every week and are really helping me to start my journey in property investment, and also to Rob for releasing your new book, The Price of Money. It's got some really, really interesting insights in there. And my question today actually has been inspired by reading that book, and what I want to ask your advice on is whether you think it's a good idea to actually take out an interest-only mortgage on your own property that you live in, with the idea of saving the difference in the lower cost of the interest-only mortgage versus a repayment mortgage. So say, for example, that's £500 cheaper per month if you actually save that money into a pot and over time build up a deposit that you then invest into a buy-to-let property. Would you recommend that that is a suitable, sensible approach to help you build funds and invest in the long term? Given what I've read in your book, it sounds like a sensible approach, given you're obviously going to use the power of inflation over time to erode your debt on your own property, whilst also leveraging your money to invest in other properties over the long term, which are also giving you rental income that increases with inflation over time and capital appreciation of those properties. So, yeah, it'd be great to get your advice and feedback on whether that's a sensible approach.
Tom, thank you for the question and thank you for reading the book. So is it a good idea to take out an interest-only mortgage on your own property that you live in? Well, we'll get to whether it's a good idea, but the first thing that I will say is that it's not easy to get interest-only mortgages on your own home. I believe it's possible. There are some products out there that you can qualify for in some circumstances, but they're pretty few and far between. It used to be far more of a thing. Before 2008, having interest only on your own home was a lot easier than it is now. So if you do want to go down this route, you're going to, again, have to speak to a mortgage broker and dig around a little bit and see if you can find something suitable. But getting to whether it's a good idea, it very much can be. For many people, though, it won't be. So most people, as you'll know, will take out a repayment mortgage on their own home, and their objective will be to pay off that mortgage as soon as they can so they can own their property outright. This works for most people most of the time, because part of your repayment is going to paying down the balance every month automatically. There's nothing you can do about it. It happens whether you like it or not. And for many people, that's a really good thing, because it means you don't have to worry about having the discipline to actually save that money. If you had £500 going towards capital, as in your example, there's no risk that around Christmas you can go, well, we really fancy getting some nice presents for the kids this year, so actually let's only pay off £200 of the mortgage. So it's effectively forced savings, but for many people, that's a benefit. And then, of course, most people like the idea of the security of owning their own home outright, because then whatever happens to them, if they lose their job or whatever, there's no risk and they're always going to have somewhere to live. And people often are also focused on passing this on to their kids. So it's what most people do because it works for most people. But it's not the only way. And there is no reason why what you've said wouldn't work. In fact, you could argue that if you've got the discipline to definitely do those savings and that you're in a secure financial position, it could actually make more sense, because rather than eventually owning 100% of your own home, you could in the future own 30% of your own home plus 30% of a couple of other properties, which gives you more diversification, more exposure to capital growth, more opportunity to sell one of those properties and shift into a different asset class. And you've got those properties actually producing income for you rather than just equity in your home, which you can't really do anything with. So basically, Tom, what you've said is completely sound. It's just most people won't do it, either because it's actually not right for them or because they're afraid of taking that approach. It's a bit too far outside the norm, or they won't be able to find an interest-only product. But if you can find a product and it does still seem like a good idea after thinking through everything I just talked about, then it could be something worth thinking about.
So thank you for your questions and thank you for listening. We'll be back on Thursday with the Property Podcast and, of course, back next week with Ask Rob and Rob. So until then, take care, have fun, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.